not gonna lie, it's very cold out here. My hands are turning red. But I kind of wanted to talk about impatience, and impatience is kind of funny to me, just because the simple fact that it's like when we're impatient, we really try to rush things that God is already working on, and so us rushing things leads to us taking it into our own hands, and we wind up doing stupid stuff, very, very, very stupid, very stupid stuff, and it's just not good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we rush, when we're impatient, we tend to go out of our way to make things happen that God is probably like, I already have it in the work, but you just trying to make it happen and you trying to do it on your own time by being impatient, it's just delaying it even more. So trying to get it quicker is pushing it away further. And that's just us humans. That's just us trying to do things on our own terms. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get what we want when we want it in a specific time frame. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for me, the times where I was being impatient, I was mainly focused on what I can do and how I can do it and the outcome of it. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it was kind of like me trying to take what I want and make a plan and trying to just figure everything out. Put this here, this here, this here, this here, and putting it in a certain time frame as well. And that's just not how it works. You know what I'm saying? God's time is not our time. We need to be on God time. I think Caleb Gordon just dropped a song that was like, I'm on God time. What you want, huh? It's a dope song. I would recommend listening to it. Caleb Gordon's one of my favorites as well. But back to what I was talking about. Being impatient, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. If anything, it adds more stress. It adds more chaos to the fire that we already got going on. You know what I'm saying? It adds more pain sometimes. For example, when you want a wife or when you want a significant other, you want somebody who you can call yours, who you can say that I'm in love with this person and I love them and I care about them and they are mine, you know what I'm saying? And I get to hold them and hug them, the person that God has given me. Sometimes it causes pain because we think that maybe God is supposed to bring us our wife in about 2 months, maybe like the next year, you know what I'm saying, in about a year. And that's not really how it works unless God ordained it that way. But sometimes we need to focus on God's time and what God is doing now and how God is trying to build us up and stop being so impatient. And that doesn't only just go for relationships, that goes for everything else, you know what I'm saying? What if it's a job that you want? And you're like, God, I want to get this job. I'm going to apply for this job. And God's like, okay, you can do that. You're going to rush. You're being impatient. You want this now. You really don't need it now. You need to work on other things now. So go ahead and do it. You're just going to be delaying yourself a bit further. And I'm not saying that God is just a God who's just going to let us do things, because in my experiences, I've known God as someone who gives us chances. He's like, hey, I really wouldn't do that if I were you. You're going to just be prolonging your progress. Or, hey, I would just stop right here. Let me handle it. Let me worry about it. Because if I worry about it, then everything's going to go according to plan. But sometimes we get hard-headed and it don't work that way. And we just do things on our own. You know, when I think of impatience, I think of... Actually, no, I take that back. I think we should be patient. You know what I'm saying? I think we should be patient. Some stories that come to my mind when I think about being patient is Jesus. When we think of Jesus' ministry, he started at the age of 30. But remember, he had about 30 years of preparation to get to that ministry. And it all came according to plan. It all happened according to how God wanted it to happen. It all happened for the glory of God, and it was fruitful. And look at where it's at today. Imagine if Jesus would have started his ministry at 12 years old, being in the temple, teaching people, telling people things that were going to offend them, telling them the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You know what I'm saying? At a young age when it's not time. Imagine what would have happened then. Maybe God wouldn't have gotten the glory, and maybe we wouldn't even be Christians as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing ideas out there. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Being on God's timing really does make a big difference. I think of David. You know what I'm saying? David was anointed at a young age. I think he was like 15. Don't quote me on this, but David was young. David didn't immediately become king after he was anointed. He had to wait. You know what I'm saying? And so, what if David would have just walked into the castle and was like, yo, Saul, I just got anointed. I'm king now. Get off the throne. You know what I'm saying? What would have happened then? David, a young king. I don't know. But thank God that it happened in God's timing. Thank God that everything is going according to plan. You know what I'm saying? Another story, which I kind of just learned, is Isaac and Rebekah. When I think of them, I think of how everything was ordained for Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Abraham went and wanted to go find a wife for Isaac. He sent out his servant and told him, hey, go to my family, go to this land, and go find a woman. Go find a wife for my son Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Isaac wasn't the one looking for a wife. Well, at least it doesn't say it in the Bible. Isaac wasn't looking for a wife, to my knowledge. But it was Abraham who orchestrated and set that up for Isaac. And so we know the story. The man goes to the well. He says, Lord, I need to find a wife for my master. If a woman comes down and I ask her for a drink of water and she gives me a drink of water and she gives my camels a drink of water, then I know this is the one that you want. And so that's what happened. And Rebekah and Isaac, well, Rebekah ended up going back with the slave. I'm probably calling her wrong. The servant, however he was called. And Isaac got married. And we know the rest of the story. But I just think about it being orchestrated by God. I just think about God taking control over everything, you know what I'm saying? And just leaving it in the hands of God and not being impatient. I think we should learn more about patience and be more patient and just wait on God's timing. Because when it's in God's timing, it's going to come out way better than we could possibly think of. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. And I've been in some situations where I got impatient and I ended up getting upset. But when it happened in God's timing, I was cool. And then there were other times where I actually waited on God's timing and everything was even great. I got things that I maybe needed in the right time. I was put in places that I needed to be at the right time, and everything worked out for the glory of God. And to God be the glory, you know what I'm saying? It's all him. So yeah. If there's anything you get from this, I guess I would just say, don't be impatient. Ask God for patience. Pray. Well, continue to pray for the things that maybe you want, maybe that you need, maybe God knows that you need, you know what I'm saying? Continue to align yourself with his will, and just pray. Say, hey, God, just make me patient for whatever you have for me, and give me the things that you know that I need in your time. Help me not to just rush ahead and do things, because I may wind up just making it worse. I may get something that I need prematurely, and then it might fall and just might fall apart. That's another thing. I feel like God is so merciful and he's so gracious that he won't give us anything before we need it, because he knows it'll crush us. He knows that it's just going to weigh us down and just destroy us even more. And so I'm grateful that I have a God. I'm grateful that Jesus knows when we need things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just being patient is just really something that we need in this Christian walk. It's an essential. It's one of the fruits of the Spirit, I believe. Yes, it is a fruit of the Spirit. It is a fruit of the Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It is a fruit of the Spirit. And so when we walk in patience, everything just gets better. That's it for me. I'm cold, bro. I'm out.